All right. Hi, everybody. I'm using my camera on my computer, so we'll see how this goes. Usually, my kids are behind me making faces at me, so I'm trying to look at my face and then look at the camera, so bear with me. So I'm going to make this really quick, but I told you guys that I would try to make a quick video about how I do events. I would love to do it and let you guys see how it goes, because it really all depends on the kind of event you do. Here's the thing that I tell all the distributors that that join our team, that get kind of nervous, like, oh, well, I don't have anything, blah, blah, blah. You can run an event on stuff from the Dollar Tree with a box of wraps, and that's it. I mean, if you've got Fat Fighters, awesome. If you got defining gel, even better. If you don't have Fat Fighters, try to find someone in your area that does, or let me know and I'll send you a couple, because I try to do the Fat Fighter demo there, have it set up. Even if I do it and it sits there and people are like, what's going on here, I can explain. So the way that I do it is I just lay out, I set up my table. I'm sure you guys have seen pictures. I've grown a little bit, and again, depending on the size and the kind of event. The key things, I'm a little bit everywhere today, but it's been a busy Friday. So let's start from the beginning. When I go to an event, I find out how big is it? Is it a smaller one? Is it at a church? Is it outside? Now, this is really going to depend on how you set up, right? So if it's outside, is it windy? Is it cold? Do I need a tent, like a coverall? Do I need weights to hold stuff down? You know, if you've got a banner, we have one banner that we share amongst our team. So we're forever traveling to try to meet somebody so they can borrow it. If you don't have a banner, don't worry about it. You don't need it. I will tell you, print out some pictures. Go to the Dollar Tree, go to the dollar store, whatever you have by you, and get some frames. I should have put some out, but I have someone borrowing my event bag for an event they have tomorrow. So I get those plastic ones that they're kind of like L-shaped. They have the stand and then they kind of go up, and you just slip the picture in it. That's what I have, and I put those out. I make sure that I use my kit box. You want to put your kit box out there so that people can have an idea of what the box looks like, and it's, of course, is another way of decorating your table. So once you determine your size and how you need to set up as far as tent and what have you, whether you need a table, let's talk about the table setup itself. I try to have either before and after pictures, like in a portfolio. Here, I have one here so you can see. I ordered this when I started. I have to figure out how we got these, but they're basically corporate approved pictures of before and after. So there's all sorts of pictures in there. So I use this, I leave this out. If we're outside, I leave it closed, because otherwise the humidity and of course stuff will mess up your pictures, because they're just photos. But I leave this out. I also print some before and afters, especially if, you know, I've been with them since May 2014, so I try to constantly update pictures and get things out there that say like any new products. I try to do a couple of before and after pictures. They don't have to be on great quality paper. You just want them in a way so that you can display them. Okay, so we're setting up the table. We have some stuff to make it look full. Products, save the containers that you use. If you're using Fat Fighters, don't throw the bottle away. I have empty bottles and green boxes, green jars. I keep that stuff because that's what I use for my display. The only thing I have that actually is there for sampling, of course, I always have my wraps. If I have any facials, Wow, I always have Wow now, because Wow is amazing, and if I can get them to sample it there, usually I get like maybe, last time I got 4 people to let me do a live Wow, you know, demonstration. So that was awesome. So Wow's amazing, of course, and greens if you have it. If you don't, when I first started, I didn't do any of that. I just did Fat Fighters and my wraps, and I think I borrowed a friend of mine's defining gel. But I had just started. I wasn't really pushing anything, but I love doing events. I wonder why, but I do. I love, it's a way for you to connect with people. It's a way to get new leads, and build up, you know, obviously a new clientele base. All right, so we talked about the products, and then you just lay them out. In the Dollar Tree as well, you have little display holders where you can put the boxes. So that way, if they're empty wrap boxes or facial boxes, you just put them out for display. So we talked about what kind of products you have and how you can put them out. Now, I have watched lots of videos and kind of made a compilation of all the tips into mine, right? So what I have is, it's stuff that I've learned from other upline obviously leaders, distributors, what have you. One I started doing is the drawing box. So I'm going to show you a sample of my cards so you can see. Now these are actual filled out cards, and that way you can see how they're filled out and how I use them. All right, so here's a great one. So what I do is, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to let it kind of, and I have a template of this. If you guys need it, I can send it to you. And what I do is I go to Target and I get a business card template, like the labels, but it's business card. And then I use that to print out these raffle tickets. And this has been really, really good. They can check off a box. And this is what qualifies them for the raffle, for the free wrap, or whatever you give away. I really highly recommend you give something away. Again, depending on how big the event is, I always do a wrap. I might add a facial. I think I'd done one time an exfoliating peel when it first came out to kind of really get it excited. It was at a bridal show. But the wrap, everybody wants to wrap. Even when they act like they're not interested, if you tell them, oh, you know, I know you wanted to try the greens. I can do that instead of a wrap. If you want to host a party, they're like, oh, you know what? I want to just try the wrap. So don't worry. Everybody wants to try the wrap. So anyway, the way I use this is as they come up to my table, I have them fill this out. And then I don't let them put it in the box. I used to, but I watched the video and I love this tip and it worked for me. I don't let them put them in the box anymore. And what I do is I grab it and then I turn it around when I talk to them. First, I make sure that they check off a box. And I tell them, you didn't check off a box? Let's talk about this. What are you interested in? You know, especially if you want to qualify for a wrap. I said, but don't just put anything there. I want to make sure it's something that you're interested in so I can send you some information. She was like, okay. And we discussed the boxes. And of course I have one that says skincare session, wrap with friends, personal consultation, and business opportunity. And I go over a little bit of what each of them are and how we do them. And then they make a decision. All right. Then in the back, I make my little note. So here I was interested in product for face. She tried the orange greens. She liked it. So I make my little note so that when I call her up, I'm like, hey, you know what, Yvette, it's so nice to talk to you. I know we met at this event. You were interested in, facial products. And I know you tried the greens. How did you like it? Did you notice anything? It's just a tiny sample. So she probably didn't really get anything. Maybe, who knows how bad her system was, that maybe that little bit made a difference. But I try to keep it very basic, but this helps me too to kind of remember people. And then what I started doing, because I learned from a video, is we have a section for phone number. And I go, is this your cell phone number? Do you like texts? Because I love to text people when I'm having a contest or any kind of promotions, especially our BOGOs. And they're like, oh yeah, you can text me. I find out right up front if it's a landline or not, and then if I can text them. Because for me, I like to talk to people, but I tend to be a little bit more jabby if I'm on the phone. Texting, I can get straight to my point without having, because of my personality, without feeling the need of going into so much, how are you? How's everything going? Oh, really? Blah, blah, blah. So texting saves me time and I get excited and I send pictures and all of that, which again, I learned from other uplines. Okay, so that's how we do the raffle. This has helped me to have parties, to get orders, to even get potential distributor leads. So I can give you this if you guys are interested in that. All right, so then another thing, let me put this right back where I found it because I have everything organized a certain way. I'll lose my place when I do my follow-ups. Okay, so, and look, I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. All right, so the other thing is, I learned, and I've only been able to try it at a few because I learned just recently, is games. Now, here, I invested in a spinning wheel because I've been doing this so long and because I love events. I get so many of them. Don't worry about that. You can still play games. So what I've recently learned and been able to apply to two shows is ask them, hey, they want to try the wrap, but they don't want to spend the money. I was like, okay, I'm actually having another contest today outside of this raffle, but you've got to add me on Facebook. Do you have Facebook? Oh, awesome. Are you on Instagram? Perfect. Pull out your phone, add me. And as they're adding me, I'm talking to somebody over here. And then once they get it up, I'm like, okay, great. Let's take a selfie. And I want you to post that you met this crazy wrap lady and you're so excited to try this crazy wrap. Whoever has the most likes, I'll check at the end of the day. Whoever gets the most likes or interactions, they'll win the wrap. So I take a selfie with them. They tag me on the post because now they friended me and I let it roll. this for the last 2 shows have been amazing because hello, I got more Facebook friends. Now everyone that liked or commented, I'm telling them, look, you've got all these people. Let's just host a party or let's do an online party. Of course, now I'm going to try to do Zoom more, but at the time I wasn't doing that. So I try to use those 2 things to kind of get them going. And then I would also use that as an opportunity, like, man, you probably didn't think you had these many people interested in that crazy wrap. This is a great way for you to earn some extra money. So do that. If you're don't be afraid to, step out of your comfort zone and ask people to do things like that. Because sometimes they might not respond to this, as successful as this can be, it is a lot of follow-up. And we might get ghosts where we just don't get any responses. If you're on Facebook, whether they respond to you or not, they're watching you. You're friends now. You can friend their friends that liked and commented on the post. So you're building your network, you're building your hundreds list, and you're building your, your influential audience. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's a great party idea, so to speak, for an event. And then, of course, just be yourself. I absolutely just love, I never sit behind the table. I'm always out front. I always draw people in. And the first thing I tell them is like, I don't carry products. I won't be selling you anything. Come here, I'm giving something away. Stress that part. I mean, tell them you have the opportunity to buy a wrap if they want to. But let them know, because when they go to these events, they have so many people that are like, oh, come buy this, come over here, this is great, only $50, $20, whatever. When they know they can come to your table and they're just learning, they're getting pampered, they're getting information, they're having some fun, they feel a little less, threatened or intimidated to come to your booth. They all have money to spend. So don't be afraid. If someone's interested in a product, pull out your catalog. I always have a catalog out. And I don't have, again, I lend out my event bag, so I don't have exactly what I put out. But in addition to the catalogs, I have a product book that I printed out with all the products and its information. Right? I also have my list of BV and all of that stuff. So if they asked about pricing, if they ask, anything, I can have that for them. And if they're ready to order, I've taken orders at events. Especially with our app now, it is so easy. So I could even say, hey, if you want, you can do this on my phone. Just before, when you submit, let me get a screenshot so we don't lose your ID and your password. So that's been a great way for me to get people enrolled right there at the event, to discuss, what their interests are and things like that. Obviously, if you can't, don't feel like, oh, well, it wasn't successful. If you walk away with 10 names, consider it successful, because those are 10 more people that you can talk to. And remember, as much as we want this to happen overnight, it's the follow-up. We've heard it 100 times from the Millionaires Club. Consistency, follow-up is key. So, don't feel like, oh, I didn't sell a wrap, I didn't get anyone to order. It's okay. You have 10 more people now you can reach out to and talk to. I think that's it. I should have put an outline together, but I wanted to make sure I got this video out because I promised. But that's pretty much all I do. I keep it very simple. I get there early to set up and be ready, and I'm there until we're ready to break down. Don't close shop early. I don't care how slow it is. Unless they tell you, you know what, we're shutting down. Oh, okay, sure. Because guess what? If you leave early and you don't talk to them, or even if you say, well, listen, no one showed up, I'm leaving, they are not going to invite you to another one. And that means if the next one blows up and you miss that opportunity, whose fault is that? So, and don't get stuck on your phone. Be out front, interact with people. Step out of your comfort zone. I'm not saying be an Ivy or be a Sarah or be anybody else, or be a Cami. No, be you, but don't be afraid to engage. All right, we're almost at 15 minutes. I wanted to keep this very simple and not very long. So I think I'm going to cut it here. If I think of any other tips, I'll share it with you guys, and I'll post it in comments and stuff. I love you. Enjoy. That's it.